you guys, and welcome back to Dauntingly Diana. Welcome back to those of you that have been to my channel before, and welcome to those that are new. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about Addison's disease because it's something that I have, and also because it is April, which is Addison's Awareness Month. And so I wanted to share a little bit about the disease with you guys. And I just found out about it probably about, I'd say 3 years ago now. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I got there and the things that happened along the way, and also the medications that I take, which I have all right here. Medications. And then I also want to talk to you about the life-saving kit that I made, and that every Addison's person should have in their home and on their person at all times. And we're also going to talk about the tattoo that I want to get for my birthday. Yeah, that's going to be kind of like my medical alert kind of a thing. So, which is very important to have as well. I think we should get started. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk to you about what Addison's disease is. So basically, the little adrenal glands, they sit on top of your kidneys, and they just sit there doing their thing, and they regulate your cortisol and your aldosterone in your system. And they're like doing their work, doing their thing. Some kind of stressful situation or something, like a traumatic event happens. And either it could be through injury, it could be like a devastating, like a depressive state, or like that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Anyways, they say that something happens and the body just turns against the adrenal glands and starts to attack them. So they're basically, your body is fighting against your own self. So it's like killing the adrenal glands, and they stop producing the cortisol and the aldosterone that you need within your body. And so, yeah, and it messes your whole entire system up in the process. I had never heard of Addison's disease before in my life until I got I had started looking, but I'll tell you about that part in the story. So, yeah, so let's talk about how I came about with my Addison's disease. I won't go too crazy, I'm not going to go too long. I do have another video on the channel that you guys can check out called My Addison Story. I did it a long time ago, so be easy on me because I was a little nervous and didn't know, I was not as confident as I am now in front of the camera. And I'm still not even that confident in front of the camera, so just bear with me in any situation. But yeah, if you want to go check that out, it's called My Addison Story. I had a lot of really bad things happen, like in a short period of time, you know, as one does in life. It happens to all of us, the best of us. And yeah, and I think my body just had enough and was like, okay, we're going to do away with this. And these adrenal glands, we're doing away with them. And, but yeah, so I had noticed the darkness of my face, probably a long time before I started getting the actual symptoms. Because I had noticed the darkness a few years back. And I had people mentioned things to me and stuff like that, but yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I just was thinking it was maybe sun damage, although I did feel really self-conscious about it. I didn't really like the look of my skin at that time, but I also I was feeling really worn down a lot, just really worn down, not able to do a lot of things. And not that I had a whole lot of energy before that, but I just really felt down a lot. That was something else that I was kind of noticing a little bit, but it didn't really hit me hard until probably the fall of that same year. So, well, it was probably around May when my mother moved out, and then around June, probably the end of June, we went to Ridgeback, and we were just making sure I was recording. Wouldn't that be terrible? We were like heading over to Ridgeback. We planned this huge menu. We're all excited about it. We brought all this food with us. Ridgeback Lodge is like like where they have dome tents that you can sleep in and stuff like that. So, and they have some cute little cabins and stuff too. It's just a really nice little camping kind of spot, camping glamping kind of spot, because it is really nice. It's not like, you know, sleeping out on the in a sleeping bag outside. Yeah, so we go there every year. And yeah, so we get there that year, and I just wasn't feeling hungry at all. Like all that food that we brought, and I'm just like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't feel like this. And the second night that we were there, we made a big supper, because that's what we always do. We always make like a big supper on the second night, and I barely ate any of it, and I was like, I'm feeling not only like full, but also grossed out by the food, kind of. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm just not feeling this right now. Like I could, if I eat any more of it, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, so that's the way I was the entire weekend that we were there. And then we get home, and it's more of the same. You know, I just started feeling really down and really like sleepy all the time, and having a hard time getting up in the morning, having a like literally feeling like I'd just roll out of bed, brush my teeth, and run out the door, and I'd be like still late for work by like 4 minutes or so. Yeah, I was having a really bad time. And it started to show, like I started to really show in my appearance that something was happening, because I was like losing weight, and I was starting to get really sickly. I had to give up coffee for a while, because I would drink my coffee in the morning, and I would come in and I would start work, and like maybe half hour into work, after I've had a lot of my coffee, I'd feel just nauseous, so nauseous, and I have to like put myself and make busy, and I have to like wait it out for a minute, like, am I gonna go throw up, or am I gonna be able to sit here and take these phone calls, because I was working at a different call center at the time. Anyway, so I was like doing that every morning pretty much, and finally I'm like, and it wasn't anything else, it couldn't have been anything else. So yeah, I know, because everybody thinks, oh, in the morning when you're sick, ooh, but no, it wasn't that. So yeah, so I ended up having to give up coffee, and I switched to tea for a while, and that helped. So I was like, well, at least it's a little bit of some kind of caffeine, because I need caffeine to keep me going. So I started drinking tea. And yeah, I just went down and down and downhill more and more every day. And we hit the fall, and that's when we were doing the Scare to Care, like we always do every year, the haunted like attraction kind of a thing, because we don't call it a house, because it's a different thing every year. So we were doing that. I was working full days, and then after work I would be going there to work on the whatever the haunted house that we were doing, or haunted thing that we were doing. And yeah, so I was putting in long days, long nights, and I was just like not eating. This is around the time when I started to not be able to sleep very well, and it was like restless leg syndrome really bad. Like I had it already, I've had it for years. I've had restless leg syndrome, but it was intense and bad. Like every night I would just be kicking my legs up in the air. Like that's all I could do, is just, I need to move, I need to move, I need to move. Like I can't just lay in bed and be still. It was just drives me crazy. It's so hard to explain what the feeling is like. It just feels really icky inside. So yeah, there was just a lot of that going on. Not sleeping. So between not sleeping, not eating, I was still, I would have drinks occasionally, like back then. And yeah, I was not a healthy person. So yeah, and then the working on top of that, like intensely for full days. Like I just was putting myself through so much. And I started feeling like I was going to have to go, like, take a leave of absence of work, because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep coming to work like this. Like, I would just spend half my day in the bathroom feeling, like, nauseous and sick. And then there were days that I would go home, and there were days that I would be, like, and I would just lay in bed feeling gross and sick and tired, but I couldn't do it every day. I can't take you know what I mean, like I still needed to work and pay the bills and stuff like that, so I did work mostly through my whole sickness. And yeah, it was rough though. It was so rough. Just thinking about it. Like even my desk when I was on the when I ended up on the digital team when I was getting really sick. My desk was like right close to the kitchen, so you like go to the kitchen to get like I would get a coffee or a tea, well, a tea at that time, so I would like make myself a tea, and just walking from my desk to that little kitchen area, which was like literally 5 feet away, I would be winded. I would have to like like I ran a marathon or something. I'd have to like keel right over and hold on for a few minutes. I would get to my chair and I would just be like, oh my god, I can't. And I would feel like I had just done so much work and all I did was walk from one place to the other. And I was getting to the point where I was like, this is really bad, you guys. I don't know what's going on with me. Like, and I was getting so sick to the point, like, I had brain fog so bad. So bad that I could not, like, I still have problems coming up with words and stuff like that sometimes. Because I do, okay, like, my brain still is like, still it's not perfect, you know, like, and I do have other issues with, you know, like ADHD and blah, 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 like undiagnosed. I don't know that for 100%, but we're pretty sure. But yeah, so, yeah, so I'm all over the place all the time. And now I'm forgetting totally what I was just talking about. Anyways, yeah, so I was telling people, I'm like, this is getting bad, you guys, like, I would sit there and I'd be talking to somebody and I'd just totally stop mid-sentence and just be like, I can't remember the word that I want to say, but I know I want to say it. That's basically what I would be feeling like at that time. And I would just be like, you guys, I know I look really stupid right now, but I don't know. I've never felt like this before. I just, like, my brain is not working. Like, nothing is working on me right now. And I started, like, counting the pounds every day. It was like I was losing a pound a day, a pound a day, a pound a day every day. I was like, okay, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to, like, keep myself going. But I just had no appetite. I was just not having it. And I was just exhausted all the time. It was really awful. And some of the worst parts for me were when I had been really sick one day, and I went to go home, and I was just like, I didn't actually throw up yet. I was just feeling really nauseous the whole time, and I'm like, okay, I just need to go home and lay down because I really don't feel good. And they're like, feel better, blah blah blah, and sent me out the door. And I get like maybe around the Lower Cove Loop, like in St. John, when you're like, anyways, if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you're probably like, I don't know, and I don't care. Anyways, I just got around that, and I just started throwing up. And I had to pull over, grab a bag, and I just sat there for 4 minutes just throwing up in a bag, and I'm like, what is even happening to me right now? Why is this happening? Like, so I'm like, and it was in a really weird spot, and I'm like, I think I know people that live around here, and this is really awkward. I'm like, please don't see me throwing up in a car. I'm parked on the side of the road. Yeah, so there was that. And then I think I don't know how much longer after this happened. I feel like I'm telling the whole story again, so if I do, here you go. Like, don't bother going to listen to the other one. I'm doing it again. But yeah, so the other time that I had gotten really, really sick was, and I think I had food poisoning, I'm pretty sure it was. So I was at work. We had been having a rough day. It was just like I think it was a Saturday, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, so it was like a boring day, whatever. We were trying to get through it. And one of the girls that I work with, Brianna at the time, she was like, oh, I'm gonna go order from there's a restaurant. I don't want to say the restaurant because, you know, whatever. It's Thai food anyways. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go in on that with you or whatever and get something for lunch. So I got pad thai or something. I think it was pad thai. And I had like a couple bites of the chicken, and it kind of tasted like it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't like terrible either. So I was like, whatever. And just ate some of it, and then I tossed the rest of it or whatever. Well, I just took it with me to my desk because I was going to take it home. And then not even like, I think maybe 10-15 minutes after I ate it, which makes me feel like it's, I know people will say that's not food poisoning, but I'm like, it just was so weird, the timing of it. Like half an hour maybe. And yeah, I was like at my desk and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, this is not going to be good. And I just got up and I left my desk, put myself in a way and all that, and told everybody what was happening. Went to the bathroom and I just started throwing. I've never thrown up so much in my life. I thought I was gonna die. I thought everything was gonna just come out of me, and that was gonna be it. And I was just like, okay. And this is really awkward because there's like, the bathroom was full of people, and I hate throwing up around people. Anyway, so I'm like, I didn't even care about that anymore. I was like, just get everything out of me right now. So that so I was in such rough shape, and I'm like, I can't drive myself home. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get home. And I couldn't even leave the bathroom to get to my desk to tell people that I'm sick and I'm going home, kind of a thing. So I was like not laying, but I was like sitting in the bathroom on a bench, and I was like rocking back and forth trying to think of what I could do. I was like, oh, call Greg, because I knew Greg was home that day, because it was a Saturday. Yeah, I was working a Saturday. And I called him, and there was no answer. Called him again, no answer. Waited, called him again, no answer. And I'm like, oh my God, I need him to come. I'm like, his phone's probably in the bedroom charging, but I need him to come get me. Like, this is terrible. And the dogs were at their like dad's. We like co-parent, so my ex-husband takes the dogs every once in a while, and that's where they were. And we had one of those like dog cameras. We still have it. I just don't use it anymore because Dexter's really scared of it. We had one of those street cameras or whatever, and we were. So I had my app up and I just threw out treats. And it says like, comes out like, Dexter, Holly, Dexter, Holly. It was my voice, right? And he was like, what the hell? So he goes, gets his phone, sees 18 missed calls. And then he finally gets in touch with me, and I'm like, I'm so sick, I can't even like, I can't move barely, and I need to get from this bathroom to the car. So I was like, I'm gonna need you to park right in front of the entrance, like, so I can go from one spot to the next. You tell me when you're almost there, and I'm just gonna get up and go. So I did just that, grabbed my stuff on the way by, and my supervisor had thrown out the takeout food, thank God. Like, I don't know if that's what it was that made me sick, but holy cow, you guys, I was really in rough shape. Yeah, so then he picks me up and we go home. We're like driving a little bit of the way, and I'm like, do you have a bag or something? I was like, I'm gonna definitely throw up. I know I'm gonna throw up. And then we're like looking around, can't find anything. I was like, you're gonna have to pull over. I'm gonna throw up. So we're like not even still, like this time I think we've made it a little bit further, but we pull over and I just start like heaving out the side. It was great. In that time he went and found like a big like salt bag and I just threw up in that the whole time on the way home. It was great. And I was sick all night after that. Oh, it was so bad. And yeah, I'd never thrown up so much. And I think that yeah, I don't know, I was probably going into a crisis a little bit, like on the verge of a crisis kind of a thing. But yeah, I didn't know what anything was at that time. So we get into like Christmas time, well, not Christmas time, but December, and we're like finished the Scared of Care stuff, and I'm still losing weight, but I'm making appointments with doctors and stuff like that, and eventually I get some blood work done, and my doctor says that he thinks it's something to do with my thyroid, because my thyroid count was off or something. So I was like, okay, well, it makes sense if I was hypo, like I was, because I'm losing weight, right? But I think, no, it's hyper, right? Hypo is when you're like gaining. Okay, so the hyper, because I was losing weight, and my thyroid would have been working overtime, causing me to lose weight. Yeah, so I was like, that makes sense. But they were saying it was the hypo, like, that I should be like lethargic and gaining weight and like not like feeling really like, I had some of the symptoms of it, but not like the gaining weight part wasn't there. And why am I losing weight? It doesn't make any sense. And so he gave me this prescription for a medication. I'm like, okay, and what is this gonna do? And he's like, well, it's gonna do this, this, and this, whatever it did, whatever it was supposed to do for my thyroid. And I'm like, well, wouldn't that in turn make me lose weight? Because it's supposed to speed up my metabolism and like do stuff to my thyroid. And he was like, well, yeah, but I don't think it's probably negligible or something like that. And I'm like, well, I don't agree with this. Like, it wasn't feeling right to me. So I was like, something's off here. But the way that I kind of spoke to him, I think he got the idea that I was like getting, what's the word? Combative or something with him. And he was just like, well, that's what the blood to work says, so that's what we're doing. And I was just like, okay then. So I literally, like, I went back to work that day and I just huffed and puffed because I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, I know it's not what I have. And I think that if I take these pills, I'm just going to put myself into worse shape. And so I was like, I think I took one pill. That was it. And then after that, I threw them away. I'm like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. And I looked up what disease could be mistaken as thyroid issues. And the very first thing that came up was Addison's disease. So then I was like, okay, that put that thought in my head. But I wasn't like, it's Addison's disease, I know it. So what I did was, after that, I put all of my symptoms in. I've got this, and this. And the very first thing that popped up on the screen was Addison's disease. And I was like, okay, so I'm seeing something here. And then I picked up all of the websites I could on Addison's disease, and I started reading up on the symptoms and the things and the whatever, and everything was kind of like coming together for me. So I finally got sick and tired of everything, and I went to the hospital, and I just went to the emergency room, and I was like, listen, I'm losing weight, and I don't know what's going on, and I've gone to my doctor, and we've done blood work. But he's given me something that I don't think is going to work, and I feel like I should like fight for myself, like I feel like I should be trying to do something about this, because I'm really dying. Like every day I'm slowly getting like losing weight and getting smaller and smaller, and like getting really worried about this, and I feel like nothing's being done about it. And he was like, the doctor was like, well, what do you think it is? And I was like, well, I think it's Addison's disease, because I looked, I did a little bit of like reading and stuff, and I kind of, put two and two together on some things that were happening. And he's like, no, it doesn't, it wouldn't present that way. And I was like, what way is it not presenting as? I'm like, I have the dark skin, I've lost weight, I'm throwing up all of the time. I'm completely exhausted. I have I can barely stand up. Like, I'm just in rough shape. And none of that sounds familiar to you. But anyways, I didn't say that to him. I try not to argue with them, because I know what they know, their stuff. But that's fine. But in this case, he really was wrong. He was wrong. I think because he was looking at what was happening to me that day. And what was happening to me that day was my heart rate was low. heart rate was low. I'm trying to think if my heart rate was low or if it was high. Anyways, yeah, it was high. I'm pretty sure. So he had given me these like heart pills or something that he wanted me to try. And he said you can take them if you want, and you don't have to take them if you don't want to, but you can give it a try and see if it works. And but he had given me an appointment. Thank goodness he did listen to me enough to know that he should send me to a specialist that would look into that kind of a thing. So he did, in that sense, do the right thing and send me to a person that found and that was able to give me a diagnosis of Addison's disease. So thankful for that. Kind of annoyed that he was like, no, it's not that. But I get it. It is what it is. So yeah, I ended up, getting that diagnosis. And, cause it was basically like, I just went in and chatted with him about it, and he just did the tests, and that's what it was. But yeah, when I found out what it was very like, what's the word I want to say? It was anticlimactic, because it was like, I was in the bed, just like laying in bed, dying. I think I just finished work or was getting ready to go to work. I can't remember. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I think I'm just done. Like, I think I'm just done for. I felt like I was just dying, you know? And waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen. And then finally he called me, and he was just like, yeah, so you have Addison's disease. And I'm like, well, okay, so we got somewhere, we have something. And he's like, and I'm going to send a prescription off to your pharmacy. And I was like, that's awesome. I'm like, whatever, if anything makes me feel better, like, I just need something to make me feel better, and I can't wait to try it. Like, I'm so excited. I did everything wrong. I haven't, like, I just, now mind you, it was during COVID, so, I mean, we'll give him that much. I never got a follow-up. I was doing everything wrong. I was like, oh, I'll just take the one in the morning, because whatever. Yeah, it's really important to take both of your, like, I was prescribed one in the morning, and half in the afternoon. And that's because you have a peak of, like, your body needs cortisol, like, a peak in the afternoon. You're having a little bit of stress, so you should have your cortisol or something, I don't know. There's like a peak in the morning and a peak in the afternoon. That's what I was told. And yeah, so if you don't take the one in the afternoon, you're just not gonna get the full benefits of the medication. So, but I was getting a little bit of it, so I was feeling better. So that's why it didn't bother me that much. And I had been feeling so bad that feeling little bit better was like, oh, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? So he was like, you shouldn't be feeling better. When I finally told him that that's what I was taking, he's like, you should be taking your one in the afternoon as well, and you need to start doing that right away. And I'm like, okay. Well, see, like, you didn't tell me the importance of any of this. Like, you basically just told me I have Addison's disease and sent me on my way. So I didn't know anything about it. But yeah. So it was a struggle. But let's talk about meds. So, yeah, so now I take, and when I first found out about it, I took, and do still take these ones. So they're called Cortef. I'm like, gonna just flip you over for a second because I want you to see, just make sure I'm in the shots. So this is Cortef. This is my lifesaver right here. I love you. Ah. And these are my full, my full ones that I take in the morning. And I need these to live. Like, if I don't take these, I will die. Yes, I will. And then the other ones that I have are these half ones that I take in the afternoon. And I just get them to do me up a bunch so I don't have to do it myself, although I could do it myself, whatever. Just recently, I started to see a new specialist. And he kind of went through a whole checklist with me that it was wonderful. And I think I've talked about this before in another video, but some of you may not have watched it because it was my art one, or one of my like diamond painting ones, and I know not everybody's into those. So anyways, so I we went through our checklist. He wants me, he's like, you need to get this, 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 and this. So he talked about these to bump up my aldosterone. He gave me these, they're called Florinef. So I've been taking these one a day. And I haven't really noticed anything just yet, but I'm only about a week into taking them, so we'll see how things go. Maybe 2 weeks in, but I don't know. I haven't really noticed anything. Although, right before that, I had started, I think with having this doctor that actually, like, cares and, like, you know, like, it gives a crap about what, how I'm doing and what I'm gonna do with myself as a person with Addison's disease. Yeah, it just made me feel better about it and want to take my, it just made me want to do better, you know, because I was missing my pills left and right, and it makes me really sick when I do that, and I hate myself when I do it. But I can't, sometimes I can't help it, like it just completely like leaves my mind. And even when I was setting my alarms and stuff, I was just like, I was so forgetful all the time, just not into it. My alarm would go off, but I would be doing something else, so I would just be like, burp, turn it off, and then I would be like, totally forgot to take my pill. Yeah, so, and then that would completely go out of my mind for the rest of the day. And then, of course, I'd start to feel sick the next day. I'd be like, frig, I should have taken my pills. Why didn't I take my pills? Yeah, so I was doing a lot of that kind of stuff, and then as soon as I started seeing the new doctor and I started getting things in my life that were like starting to make me feel more confident and more feel like I know more about it, and I know more about how to treat myself if something is going wrong. That was what was worrying me a lot before, and I'm just like, nobody's telling me anything. I don't know what to do. Like, am I supposed to just take another pill if if I go into a crisis? Like, what am I supposed to do? So what you're supposed to do, actually, is there's a fast-acting, this is my life-saving kit. Again, I'm just going to make sure I'm in the shot here. So this is my Diana's life-saving kit, and I have this in the bathroom at the moment in my house, and it has the, this is the fast-acting cortisol in here, and it's just basically, I'll take it out really quickly to show you what it looks like. So it's just a little capsule kind of a thing, and you're supposed to take, see, and it's got like a powder in the bottom and then the liquid up here, and you're supposed to take and pop this up, and there's this whole routine you do where it takes, the liquid goes down into this and you mix it up, and then you take and put it in a syringe, and yeah, and then you have to jab it into a muscle. So, and Greg has done the little tutorial on how to do this, so he knows how to give me this shot if he needs to. And also there are instructions online. There's also a YouTube video on how to do this, so that's what we watched. So yeah, and they gave me some syringes and needles, so I don't really need to show you that. But also, I have another one of these, which I will be putting in my purse. So I was going to take this little makeup bag, and I was going to use that as my little life-saving kit for my purse. Yeah, so it'll be in there for if any time I need it. So basically, you can go into a crisis if you get into a really stressful situation, you get hurt really badly in some way. If you, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I can't think of any situations right now, but anyway, so like stressful situations, you can end up, oh, and not taking your meds for like some days on end. Yeah, so I'm gonna have one in my bag so that people can, if needed, stab me with it. Let's throw some cortisol into my body so I'm not dying anymore. You know, God forbid I should ever have to use it, but it's there if I do. Hopefully I never do have to use it. And like I was saying, and I don't think I finished it, I'm doing so much better with taking my pills. Like, I don't know what it was. It's like something snapped as soon as I started going to this new doctor. I just started like taking my pills religiously like every day, and I'm doing really well at it. I think I only miss like one here and there, like not maybe once a week, whereas before it was like 2-3 times a week I would miss a pill, meaning like one in the afternoon, or I would miss one in the morning sometimes. Yeah, and I'd pay for it, and I'd be really sick, really sick. So, and it seems like it hits me harder sometimes when I don't take my meds than when I had it, you know. So it really makes me feel like I'm struggling to be alive when I forget to take my meds. So, and I really don't like that. It really sucks having to take meds to live, because, you know, having to remember something like that every day sucks. But it is what it is. So, yeah, so I have my little caddy that I use to make sure that I'm like, I can look at it every day and go, oh yeah, I took my pill today. I can see that it's gone into this slot, kind of a thing. And then, yeah, so I put these pills in the morning slot. So, not these ones, sorry. The full pill, and then one of these little doohickers to help with the aldosterone part, which is supposed to help with my complexion. It's supposed to help with the dark complexion and the skin and stuff like that. He said it might even start to fade, which I never even thought was an option. I thought I was just stuck with this forever. Like, it is what it is. This is my Addison's face. If you can search Addison's face and you will see people's faces that are like blotchy, and I do have some makeup on right now, so it's a lot fainter than it usually is, but yeah, so it's called the Addison's face because you get hyperpigmentation in your skin, and that's just from the lack of whatever, or, you know, lack of whatever you have going on in your body. So yeah, lots of fun. And like, it affects things that you would never even think, like, you know, like you're just thinking like, oh, well, you can't handle stressful situations anymore. No, it's not that. I'm like, anything stressful, like nothing at all I can handle, like, because my body is like, oh, that's more than you have in your body right now, so what am I gonna do? And you're not making any more, which is what normal people do. So I'm like, yeah, like even sometimes getting in a hot bath or shower or something, it's too much stress for my body, and I'll just get really dizzy and like feel like I'm gonna die. It's called Florinef. So fludrocortisone, and I take 0.1 milligrams of that a day. So, and I think it's 0.1 milligrams for the Cortef as well. No, it's 10 milligrams for the Cortef. And then I take 5 in the afternoon. Since I have been taking my pills a lot, I've been feeling much better. I am gaining weight. I'm back up to like, or after I was sick with the big C, the seeded. I ended up with at 96 pounds, and I've gained back a lot. I'm 110 now, which is amazing. And I'm like, that's about as much as I want to gain back, because that's like my ideal, whatever, weight for my height and my like my BMI or whatever. And I'm just gonna fill up my pill caddy while I'm talking to you guys. But I need it ready for this week. And yeah, like I said, I'm gaining weight again, so that's great. And I'd like to just stay where I'm at. These are, again, these pills, the Florinef are supposed to help you to gain weight a little bit. So we'll see. I don't want to gain too much more, you know. I don't want to go way back to where I was before, because I was a little chunky before I got sick, you know. But I was enjoying food and enjoying life. And for a long time after I was sick with this, I was not enjoying life, because even after I was feeling better, food was like not enticing to me at all. Like everything just grossed me out. And it's like my brain was playing tricks on me and like trying to make me feel like it would like little stupid things would pop into my head while I'm eating. And it would be like, remember the time that you had an eggshell in your sandwich? Like, while I'm taking a bite of a sandwich that was similar to the one that I had, you know? And I'd just be like, oh, I can't eat this anymore because I'm just thinking about that. It's just so stupid, but that's what my brain would do. I literally would do that every time. And I would just be like, my brain's doing that stupid thing again. I'm like not trying to be, you know, disrespectful and not eating this, but I really just can't eat it right now. I just can't. And I'm gonna have to just not eat. So a lot of times I just didn't eat anything. That's why I was like so, lost so much weight and was just so thin and frail all the time. If you look back at some of my older videos, you can see that my cheeks are like sunk right in. I look pretty sickly. And looking down, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, she's looking worse. And then she comes around again. But yeah, so I was in some rough shapes. But that's okay. You know what I mean? I'm living now. I'm doing okay. Things are good. I already filled my morning pills, so I have my Cortef and my Florinef all in there. And now I'm going to do the other side. And on this side, I have some other meds that I take. And I just wanted to split them up in the day. So I put 4 pills on this side. I feel like I'm like wheeling and dealing with medications. I don't like it, but whatever. It makes me feel like I'm 80. Okay, so I take these. They are a pantoprazole, I guess. I don't know. For my tum-tum, because my tummy has never been good for me. Ever since I was in my teens, early 20s, my stomach's never loved me. Lots of heartburn, lots of nausea, and like acid reflux and stuff like that. I just let it happen. The Panto helps with my heartburn so much though. Like if I didn't take those, I would be dying, like dying. And I even get like, it's called I know this sounds so horrible. I'm just like not a healthy person. I have so many things wrong with me. It's called esophageal spasm, I think. And it's like you're just so like you spasm from just feeling so crappy from heartburn and stuff. It like starts to spasm and it feels legit like a heart attack. Like the symptoms are the same as angina. So it legit feels like you're having a heart attack. And the pain would go from here all the way like down into my chest, underneath my breasts, and then into my back, and it would go up into my neck and into my chin and my teeth and stuff. It was just so bizarre. And luckily I did find that there was something else that causes that esophageal thing. And so I was a little concerned that I'm like, why am I getting angina at like 30 something? But yeah, it was in my 30s when I found out about that. Yeah, so ever since I've started taking those, it's gone away. So I don't have any issues with that. And it also helps with the heartburn. So now I'm just putting in my antidepressants. So people that have Addison's disease have depression as well, usually. And they do suffer with depression and anxiety, and that is because that's just the way that it's like one of the side effects of the disease. I'm gonna sneeze. And I don't know if it's specifically in women. I can't remember. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, there is depression involved. There's depression, and there is loss of like libido and stuff like that. So it's not all, yeah, not great. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sleeping lately, so I do look very tired right now. I can see that. Yeah, I've just not been sleeping, and that's a side effect of that medication as well. So that's really fun. I hate not sleeping. So I'm just putting in the rest of my antidepressants. So I take Effexor. I take I do 150 with 75. I can't even remember what that is. Anyways, that's what I take. And that helps with my anxiety, my depression. My anxiety used to be so bad when I was younger that I couldn't even leave my house. So I would have a hard time leaving my house. And if I did, every experience was horrible for me. And it was like, yeah, and I was a young mother and I had to do it anyways. But yeah, so it was rough times, but I survived. And then eventually I realized that what it was that I was going through was anxiety and depression, and not just like thinking I thought it was crazy. But it turns out I have social anxiety really bad, and I also have depression, and I have always had depression. I've had it for a long time. And of course with the Addison's disease makes it worse. So, but yeah, the meds help for everything. So yeah, I just feel so much better now that I'm taking all these meds and everything's going well. And yeah, so, and I also mentioned too that I wanted to talk about the life-saving, not the life-saving, but the medical alert that I want to get. I think I'm going to get it on this wrist. And I think it's going to be like just a medical alert thing, and just something like Addison's disease right there. Or, I don't know, something like that. Some kind of some kind of thing. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm all set to go for my week now. I got all my pills in there. Look at them. Don't they look great? Yeah, so pills. And then I just put this on my desk at work, and I go in at 11 o'clock to start work. I take my morning pills, and then when I come in from lunch at 5:30, after I'm finished eating, I have my second set of pills, and then I'm done for the day. Yeah. And sometimes, like, I'll allow myself so much time up to a certain point to take the pills, because you're not supposed to take them too close together. So I will take them up to, like, I think it's, like, 2 o'clock is the latest I'll go. If I miss the morning pill, I'll take it at 2 if I have to. And then I'll take my other afternoon pill, like, later on, like 7, 8. But I work weird hours. I work 11 to 8, so it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's not like I can take it like a normal person can at like 8 o'clock in the morning when they get up. And yeah, so I'm never a normal person. This won't be normal. Okay, so yeah, that's, I think, everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Just be aware that Addison's is out there and people have it, and yeah, just I really would like to create something in the city that would be like a research, or like would create a center for people like with Addison's disease to go hang out and like find out more about their symptoms and their and the disease and everything about it, and maybe have some special like doctors on site and stuff like that. That would be so cool if I could do something like that, or like even just a charitable kind of a thing, so I can raise money towards research towards it. Like, I don't know. I wish I could like, I wish I was, I don't want to say smart enough. I just wish I had the will enough to get something off the ground like that, but I just don't know where to even begin and what to do. Yeah, so there's that. But anyways, maybe I will. Maybe that's going to be my second life, is just making a center for Addison's disease in St. John. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so thank you guys for being here with me and learning about Addison's disease with me and about my situation and everything. Love you guys. I got nothing else. Bye.